Hello. Welcome to episode 15 of Today at Embr. I am your host, Rob Vallozzi. I'm joined with my co-host here, which is co-CEO Jason Dominique. Today we have a pretty special episode. For those of you who are listening on our podcast format, I do implore you to please try to join us at youtube.com/Embr channel, or always join us on our Facebook page, because today we're going to be doing something that I'm sure a lot of our community has been waiting for a very long time. We're going to be leaving a live product demo showing our newest and I guess one of our greatest products that we're going to be launching here at Embr. And for those that are joining us live and watching us on those channels, please, we'll be taking your live questions as well. But I do want to go ahead and bring in my co-host here, Jason Dominique. Jason, how are you doing? It's a very exciting day for us today.
Yes, Rob. This is weeks and I'd like to say months, even though we're still quite young. But yeah, it's a lot of work. And a couple days ago, we wrapped up what we could consider a proof of concept in a production environment of the latest product that we're about to release. So pretty exciting stuff. And today we're going to test out and try to describe it as much as possible for people listening in rather than watching in. Yeah, exciting stuff.
Yeah, absolutely. And this is happening live, so there may be some hiccups, of course, when it comes to just the way they're presenting this, because sometimes this program that we're using, Riverside, sharing different screens can be sometimes a little fumbly. But the actual product itself, this is up and running. This is really what's happening on the engineering side. This is working 100%. We of course are going to be working, as we spoke about the past couple of weeks, of the people that we brought in about bringing the right copy, and of course when it comes to super side and the wonderful design that we have planned out to make us beautiful and crisp. But we don't want to wait that long. We wanted to be able to show you guys what this is working right now. This is able to be used, and we're going to be using live examples. And I think this is going to be really exciting for our community. And we're all break down, just a little bit of numbers there towards the end and show will be not only for the company, but also when it comes to our token itself.
Absolutely right, Rob. So I think let me just set the stage, quickly before we start doing any demo. So essentially, in the past few shows, we've been sort of building up the explanation about this product and everything. But for those who are just joining us, and this is the first episode they're listening in. So with Embr, when we launched our token, one of the main thing, taking this post pre-sale into the secondary market, we needed to enable or facilitate at least this purchase of a token. And ultimately, what happened is that we did not have this set experience for us. So we ended up sending pretty much everyone to PancakeSwap. And this experience, a couple days later, brought us to think that for multiple reasons, it's definitely not on par with what we want for our community, but ultimately align with our vision and our mission. This is something we feel is a shared feeling with other project leaders like ourselves, that they have to deal with on a daily basis. Generally speaking, if you think about the purchase of a product, it's not very common that you go on a store or something like that, and when you arrive to a point where you feel excited and enthused enough to want to purchase the good, that they tell you, well, unfortunately, we don't sell it here. We'd be happy to sell it to you, but unfortunately, we just don't. So if you want to buy this good, you actually have to head out somewhere else. And this is obviously nonsense. So a few days after our secondary market sort of sale, we got together and we decided to look at what can we do to better this experience. And it came, to a conclusion, and I think this is a bit of our style, is we normally, when we face a problem, we start ranting about it, me specifically, and and we're like, this does not make sense. And we started looking at options, and ultimately what we came out with is, this thing that we called for quite some time the buy button. And ultimately today, it's something that is about to be branded, but has an official name, which is called Embr Checkout. And its whole purpose is to, every time we showcase it, and I was showcasing it to a friend this morning, and after I did the demo, he was like, why isn't it like this seems so obvious? And this is something you say as well, Rob, often it's so obvious that it should exist. And so bringing this into the market will, we believe, obviously be something huge, but it's something that the end user expects. It's not something that the end user will be, doing like, wow, because for those that haven't come in and experience the complicated ways of purchasing a token, they're not going to know how much better the experience is.
Yes.
Exactly. So for your average consumer, their level of expectations are as high or even higher than what we're about to deliver, because for them, they're used to the e-commerce world. They used to go out there and purchase goods, and they don't ask themselves any questions. They just go out there and they purchase whatever they want. But when they'll come and purchase a token, it'll be just like anything else. So this is what we're trying to build. So going into this,
I think also this is a standard that once it's commonplace, that we believe that will market, because as before we were preparing to be able to show this to the public, we were looking through multiple tokens and stuff that we can use as an example, and obviously a need for this, because we found that a lot of people on their web pages, their own sort of patchwork half measure to alleviate this problem, but in reality just still overcomplicate, and also even segmenting of, there's no continuity between these websites, even more difficult, because there's this patchwork happening there. And so we can see, as we were just doing this, preparing for it, that there is a demand.
Yeah, absolutely. And I'm just going to show you on two folds, and Rob will assist in commenting as yes, well as he can.
For those that are just listening.
Exactly. So I'm going to do two things. So I think it's important to emphasize on one part is how big the problem is. I sort of explained it, but we're going to go through a short example. And the second thing is that we're going to show how actually big the opportunity is. And I think we, I don't know if it's because we haven't emphasized enough how big the opportunity or how much of a problem this is solving. But in this show, this is what we want to set the stage for. We want to make sure that everybody understands that there is a massive pain point out there that end users, when they want to purchase something that they truly believe, could be the next biggest crypto project, and if they don't come from a place of experience, it's just full of red flags. It's paved with red flags. And the second thing is that if you're a project leader and you want to enable this, enable your true believers and making sure they're able to purchase it, your main focus will be, how can I make sure that I get 100% conversion? Just like any product out there, if someone says, I want to buy, then there shouldn't be any reasons why he is not able to fulfill his sort of wish. And we will show you how complicated it is, and ultimately what this means for both the project leaders, the investors, and the market as a whole, because this will essentially increase conversions by 10x easily of what you see or what it could be. Because right now it is what it is based on how complicated it is. It's not what it is because it's easy. It's what it is based on how complicated it is, and based on the fact that most of the people, I would say 90% of the people that are purchasing, they've either been helped by someone, they can't figure it out on their own, but they've gone through a lot of hoops and loops. They've taken risks without even knowing if it's going to work. And basically they went all in, as Matt Damon, was saying in the crypto.com, what did he say exactly? It says, risk. What does it say again? Yeah. I'll have to
forget what
look
that
at
is.
it.
Go ahead, look it up. Yeah, but also, as you're saying, to let you guys know, is that when it comes to conversion rate to a business, especially when it comes to these project managers, is a ton of time and effort is spent on, strategizing on how they're going to market it, able to spend a lot of marketing dollars, when it comes to also maybe they're paying for interns. And there's a large portion of these people say, okay, great, I want to be a part of this. And then they come to their pay wall. So that's literally marketing and resource dollars going out the window because you don't have that high conversion rate.
So I got it.
Did you find it we said?
So, I mean, ultimately, Matt Damon says that fortune, basically fortune favors the brave. And the reason why it makes so much sense, it's because it's complicated.
Mm-hmm.
If it'd be easy, it would have no leg in crypto. So the fact that it holds up, it means that purchasing crypto is not only something that is about risk, it's not easy. It's quite an achievement if you end up being able to purchase this. Exactly.
And there's real risk before even purchasing. As all investments require risk, but it's even risky to the consumer just to buy it. Part of any investment, strategy.
So without further ado, let's stop chit-chatting, Rob, and let's get into it. Let me share my screen. So I will be sharing a specific tab, which is the start of what I would consider
your journey
the
into
sort of
purchasing.
Yes, exactly. So let's just take. So let me show you based on. Okay, so this is, as you can see, for those that are familiar with CoinMarketCap, this is in the exchange, decentralized exchange area, and you basically choose PancakeSwap, and you can see pretty much on a daily basis which token, how well they're performing, and we're just gonna take, let's say, pretty much all of them.
Also, too, as well, for those that are listening too, is which is very important. We'll get to this later. Is that so far there's already over $1 billion in trades happening? Just today. I mean, that's insane. This is just on one exchange, and we'll say a little bit more. But I kind of wanted to add that for those that are listening.
Absolutely. So let's just take this token here, Oracler. I have no idea what this token does.
Do you want to expand?
But ultimately,
do you want to expand the size a bit, well, so people can see a little better?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So Oracler, I don't know what they're doing, but they must be doing something well, because today they've been trading for $27 million. So, I mean, they must be doing something great. So if we go on their website, and I'm sort of, looking for the next crypto gem, and I'm like, okay, so this is, Oracle base play to earn NFT. Obviously, we're not here to do an ad for them, but the point is, if I want to purchase their assets, how would I go about it? So the first thing I'd be looking for is, how do I buy? And your average sort of call to action in the crypto space is essentially a contract address. And if you're not familiar with what a contract address is or what can it do, then you're pretty much stuck here. You don't know how to buy it.
Yeah, if you don't know
But
what this little symbol is or what any of this means to 90% of the population, even the people that already may be invested in crypto, people that may buy Ethereum all the time with people I know that own Ethereum, they're like, it's not on Coinbase or it's sort of on CoinMarketCap, is it? They'll have no idea what this hieroglyphs basically mean up here at the top right.
But let's say, okay, they've done something right here. They say buy ORKL. It's already listed on PancakeSwap. Okay, fair enough. So I'm going to click here. Oh, but they're taking me to PooCoin. That's just great. How do I buy on PooCoin? I mean, so you just lost me. Obviously, you just lost me. I don't know how to do this. Let's say I'm a bit more advanced. Let's say someone have told me halfway through, I know how. So I'll just copy this. I'll go to PancakeSwap. Maybe you should time me, Rob, just to see how much time it's. Okay, so I know because, I'm sort of a veteran. I'll click on exchange and then I'll go here and then I'll add the specific token. I'll import it. And then, this is the first red flag. It says anyone can create a BEP20 token on BSC, with a name, including creating fake versions. So, okay. So am I continuing? And it says as well here that there's some form of unknown source. Okay. Well, let's say, I've listened to Matt Damon and it says fortune, favors the brave. I'm one of the brave one out there, and I'm gonna, agree, and I'm gonna understand that things may go wrong.
But I'm willing to take that risk, though.
Yeah. So this is done, and basically, I still don't know what to do.
Yeah.
So how do I purchase this? So again,
and for those that are listening to it, it says the Oracle with no numbers, and then you see for Cake. I mean, is Cake the way that we're supposed to be purchasing this? And is it, am I getting all of this? Still looks like hieroglyphs to me. And even if someone if I told them and explained to them, copy the contract address, go to Swap, and you see the exchange to connect your wallet, there's still tons of roadblocks here if you made it to this point.
Exactly. So let me show you something, which is basically what we've been working on. It's this Embr checkout. So this interface that you're seeing here.
You want to go ahead and zoom in on that a bit more? There we go.
Yeah, I'm doing it as we speak. What you can see here is that Embr Checkout is a flexible and embeddable checkout widget for your project. It supports BSC, it supports ETH, it supports Avalanche, it supports Phantom, and it also supports Matic. So for those who thought that we were just going to be releasing Binance Smart Chain, well, you got yourself quite a surprise today, because Embr Checkout is today working in a production environment on 5 different chains. This is just absolutely mind-bending to know that for a project like Oracler, they could essentially, and I'm going to show you, this is the interface to buy Embr, but us on our end, the only thing we need to do is change the contract address in our admin in the background, and essentially it changes. Do you want to comment on this?
See, it says, yes, buy Oracle. You have 2 things that are happening here. Is number one, no matter what chain that they're on, the project is, that it'll immediately be able to choose the project that they can purchase this with, and they can embed this on their website. Now, for those that are watching, we're always showing what's happening on the engineering. This is all functioning. Of course, as I mentioned before, we have some beautiful stuff going to happen when it comes to the way that we present this to the actual public, and the way that's going to work, and the way it's going to be beautified with design from Superside. But this is able to show you that boom, press one button, and that doesn't matter which project it is. They already know the amount of BNB that they want to be able to purchase.
It tells
And then,
me how much I'm going to get, and it tells me how much the fees are going to be, which is 0.0000.75. As you can see, the numbers have just changed, so it's always live. And I think what we need to emphasize on here is this is essentially a two-step process. The project would basically have a button on their website that said buy, and it would lead them to this interface. You connect your wallet and it's done.
absolutely.
It's as simple as this. And this can be done on 5 different chains.
Absolutely. And what's also great about it too is that if you have, let's say a BNB, let's say you were purchasing Embr, you find yourself on another web, let's using, MetaMask, you find yourself on another page that you want to be able to buy this other project that may be, on a different blockchain. Immediately, the Embr will acknowledge this, explain that you're on the wrong chain. You switch chains automatically. It'll ask you if you want to do so. Have those chains, all of a sudden your wallet is now on the chain you're supposed to be, and you can purchase with the token that they want you to purchase with at that time. And whether that's they're pairing with the first version, of course, long term they'll be able to purchase whatever token that they own on that chain as well, giving pretty much utility to any project on any of these chains, all 5 of them.
Yeah. So now on to the opportunity. As Rob was mentioning a few minutes ago, PancakeSwap today is traded. Yep.
Do you want to show just one more contact address just to show how easy it could possibly be?
Oh yeah, sure. I mean,
cherry picking.
Could use like whatever multiverse. Let's say, I don't know what they do. Haven't had so much of a good day today, but so I'll just copy their contract address. And let's take it.
Let's go to our the actual you have the checkout on. It's not showing on the screen.
Yep. So we got it here. So choosing BSC because we're still on BSC at the moment. I'm just going to input their contract address.
And for you guys to know, this is how we're this. And there's some stuff that's happening in the background, but again, like I said, this will be beautified. And we'll be able to add people's logo, design different colors, how they want it to have it look. We'll have ears to be available for them that will offer different information to them. We'll have enterprise edition. But there will always be a free option that any project on any of these chains can utilize. It's pressed, they'll be able to come, boom, right to their connected wallet with a great interface. And as you can see, right now it's buy with BNB because that's just what we have it set as. But in the future, you'll be able to buy, to swap them right for your specific, your projects, exactly giving them utility. And just to kind of add the cherry on top, Jason, is with our partnership with Wire, that purchased. You're like, well, how do I, that's also the product. How do I get BNB? How do I get these other tokens? So you'll be able to use a credit card for that as well. And that will be something that's pretty impactful.
So as you can see, I created, for those that are just listening, I created within a second, a checkout flow to purchase Baby Doge. And I could do it with pretty much any token on any chain. I can look at as well some other DEX. Hypothetically, let's choose one of the up and coming Phantom chain, which, Spooky Swap is just going mental right now with, a little over 300 million
in trading volume.
In volume just today. And if we're going to take, let's say, I don't know any of those coins, but let's
Can you
just take.
also, is there a way to expand the screen share a bit to where we're smaller and the screen's a bit larger? We'll make it smaller on the bottom there as we had when we were testing.
Let me just see.
Just because I'm seeing it, some feedback it may be having a little bit of trouble being able to view it. But yeah, as you can see here too, boom.
So this is Boo, but I chose Zoo Coin, which is another one. There we go.
By Zoo with Phantom. Implement this on any of these projects on any of these chains. That's over. I mean, this gives us ability to, especially when I have their app and Embr.org, and especially with the buy button, is to be able to have the ability to 1,000 different projects that people be able to one of the largest trading apps in the world. I don't think there's no one else doing this.
Yeah, I mean, if you add for this simple use case, because as you were saying, Rob, the future iterations of this checkout is to enable more than a single utility for that token. Purchasing the asset itself is the current utility for most of these projects. But what if all of these tokens could actually be used as a tradable asset to purchase goods? Like if you don't want to just hold it, you want to use it as a digital asset, then you could basically go and purchase whatever. But ultimately, if you add all of these top decks, these 5 decks that we've just made this checkout compatible with, we've basically given ourselves a market opportunity that goes beyond $5 billion on a daily basis, that could be facilitated by this checkout on all of these projects' website. So when we say that this is going to change the landscape, the second thing that's important is that maybe you've seen it, maybe you haven't, but ultimately every single one of those checkout flows has, next to what the person wants to purchase, powered by Embr. Mm-hmm. And if there is, if you were to choose the best marketing campaign ever, that would be the one.
Absolutely. And for a way, just like you would with Stripe, it's a you can click and it'll send you to Embr. They'll be able to see exactly what that. A lot of people, these also that are our investors, are running their own projects as well. They're tentacles in multiple things. So it's, this level of things are stacking on top of each other to be able to give such a level of brand that, would be unheard of. I mean, we could literally have, something like, Coinbase in a very short period of time out spending millions in marketing dollars, which I think is super important. I mean, and that has, like I talked about last week about, that's when, the value of a company, when it comes to brand recognition and how people feel about the company, that, is priceless. But on top, there is also, if you want to go ahead, Jason, and bring up, like with that last token that you're using, when they had $27 million today, and what that kind of volume really means for Embr and our token itself as well, because we do, of course, this is generating revenue down, black and white, which you guys saw with demonstration. But those revenue streams, not only is it with our buyback and our give back program, which will be a large percentage of what we're building from those fees. Do you want to go ahead?
So yeah, I mean, if we look at this project just a few moments ago that we've explained how their purchase flow is horrible. And by the way, if you guys are out there, Oracler, just give Rob a shout. We'll just make it better. But these guys, they sold for 27 million, in their token for today, their trading volume. And if they were to use, hypothetically, if 100% of their transactions would go through our Embr checkout at, our with our current fee, and our service fee right now is set at 0.5%. Basically 27 million times 0.5, you're looking at, a nice $130,000 just in service fees for one project for one day on one chain.
Mm-hmm. And you can see how quickly that can add up. And I mean, also too, Jason, I'm seeing some comments in the community, because we are taking some of your questions live a little bit later, but this one I do want to address right now, because I think that it's kind of blow the socks off. Someone, if you'd like to go ahead, Jason, and demonstrate if they'd be able to purchase SafeMoon. Quite a few people purchase SafeMoon using our buy button, our Embr checkout, and if they'll be able to utilize that. Jason, would you like to album, because I've been seeing this in comments prior to this. I'm seeing comments on it. That's how we put this to rest, and I think it will really show people what this is capable. Share your screen again and give the quick demo. So yes, but right now
we can try.
I don't know, Jason. You think it would work? You think it's fun?
I'd have to spend money for it and be charged with a horrible fee.
Their fee is, yes. So on their end, they would be charged, for the reflection fee.
Let me first get the contract address. So give me 2 seconds.
No. And this is the thing that I love about this button, is because I would have no problem spending here all day long with people shooting. We don't want to waste time that, because we have a lot more to get to, of people just kind of shouting out, show this token, and we'll have the same result. Go ahead and blow that up for us, Jay. And
let me edit the contract address.
Ooh.
Look
at that. Buy SafeMoon with BNB, or even better, or you could buy it with any other of these, other token, through with what we have. And regardless, we'll be, there you go. You can see right there, we can continue. We could
You're not seeing, obviously, my MetaMask, but
yes. Yeah, we're going to hide that, but look, there you go. And we're going to be able to have that to be, which, this is pretty impactful there too. Which I think is now, when you were saying, is what we said, the last one was what, $36,000.
What?
Just revenue. It was so you said for our last that was an example that we were using, would be, our revenue would be $136,000. That's on one project, one day. That is
exactly.
I mean, if you just ahead of how that would actually work. And there you go. Purchase with SafeMoon, right live in front of you guys through our Embr checkout, and it shows what the balance is, and you have your wallet connected. That work with every project on any of those 4 hours a day, 7 days a week. I mean, this will be a game changer. I hope the community is able. Watching that live to see that happen, is that we literally someone did a live call out. We showed that it's working right then, and be able to purchase wallet connected.
I apologize for doing this. I apologize for doing this for anyone out there in the SafeMoon community. I apologize.
Personal hit towards anyone in any project. This is just showing this is.
I'll give it back. I will give it back.
Somebody got reflections. They're happy about it. Someone got reflections. That burn wall, I got some reflections. But what also too is that when it comes to marketing, and when it comes to people that are still in the Moonboard community, when they're there still is that background when it comes to Reddit. the great thing about this is that no matter what the project is or who it is or what we're able to say, some people be like, well, I don't like Embr. I don't like what they're doing with that token or whatever what they might be saying. I don't believe in any of these tokens. You don't have to. We're not pitching Embr project. We're pitching this checkout button that anyone is, and just to be able to, if someone's in using this too, our buyback program, no matter what project that someone's excited about, potential of what's happening on what chain, it's still always be back to our development cost, our development, and to it's a large portion is going to charity, and also a large portion will be going into buyback, raising on a continual basis the price. This is something that is just unheard of. We're looking at company, we're looking out for investors, and we're also looking out for the general public when it comes to with the give back program. And this could be millions of dollars in charity on an.
Yeah. The last thing I need to address before, obviously we wrap up, this show for today, because I think it was, filled up with excitement, obviously, is that what you've been seeing, and this is something that it's important, that, and most people will be like, well, that's good enough for me. What you've been seeing is a non-design product. This is not design. This is functional UI. For a lot of people, that's pretty. For me, it looks bad because that's not what we aim. Rob, you've been saying it multiple times. I've been saying, we're aiming for best in class. So I just want to show sort of the vision that we intend on creating for this space is in regards to the look and feel.
What a final
exactly.
This is what we're taking inspiration from.
Exactly. So I have it here. I'm just going to have to share my screen once more. And here we go. Choose the right tab. So if you take this is basically your average and standard level of quality in terms of design and experience when you head into a purchase checkout flow. So we're imagining, and this is why Superside is joining the team, we're imagining a full page with some information of the actual token to the left that is, filled out automatically when you enter the contract in our admin console. It's going to say powered by Embr pretty much everywhere. Terms and privacy agreements if you decide to, actually go ahead with this transactions. And to the right, you will actually have the whole sort of swap experience where it has the fields that you want to enter, the amounts and everything. And then you have your completion next step, success or not success or whatever. And then your mobile experience, again, creating something that is absolutely best in class for any type of project that wants to use Embr Checkout. And then, sky's the limit, because once you have the functional sort of aspect of your product, you can make it look however you want. So this is so exciting. The team is beyond like mind blown.
Static. Yeah.
Exactly. And hopefully,
big shout out to James too, especially.
Yeah. And ultimately, hopefully through this show, we've been able to explain to you why we've been why we've been working so hard on this. And we believe this is the best first product we can take to market to enable the whole cryptosphere. And ultimately, the way it's been built, we're going to be able to add, if there's a new DEX that pops up overnight, just like let's say Spooky or Trader Joe, because we have Trader Joe on there as well.
I think ADA is trying to do their own decks too as well.
Exactly. So overnight, we can basically add all the token that are tradable on that DEX overnight. And this is not a joke. This is for real. The way we've built it, it's infinitely scalable. It can be implemented in a snap, and that's it. Voila. That's as simple as this. So yeah.
And also, it's just to kind of emphasize as well, is that this is entirely developed from the ground up by the Embr team. This is all of our own intellectual property and technology that we've developed. On anyone anywhere else to be able to implement this. This is something that on the ground level that really, that when people, back, the power of what this is, and this is just the beginning. This is not the end game, end of all game for Embr. I mean, we've been talking through, the length of our season of this podcast about all the other things that we want to deliver. It's something that's our underlying technology that this is ours. We utilizing this, and not only will they be able to purchase through, be able to scale this for any other project on any other chain, and they can implement it themselves, but also embr.org for us. That means that people that, regardless of what they know about the other person's website, embr.org, and be able to purchase easily any of these projects on any of these chains at a one-stop landing page location. That is massive in its own right.
Yeah, that's for another show, Rob. The whole Embr thing, embr.org is gonna be, you're looking for a token, you want to buy it, you want to learn more about it, just go to embr.org. And the whole, discovery will be able to be done there easily. You'll be able to, connect with your favorite projects. You'll be able to interact with them, follow them, be able to purchase their assets. You'll have your own profile where you decide to showcase or not whatever you're holding. And on the other side of the marketplace, as we've mentioned, we're building the best launch tools you can think of, all seamlessly integrated into embr.org, from dashboard to launch, the elements that are needed that we've used as a proof of concept, from the crowd sale to the vault to, all of these things will be baked in and integrated to embr.org as a full suite of launch tools for anyone that wants to, basically create the next world-changing crypto project.
Mm-hmm. No, absolutely. This is, only a series of, really what we want to podcast, putting more product demos for quarter one, not to spoil too much for, other episodes, be doing, product demos, something about comes to the embr.org, and we have an app in the works that we've been talking about for some time as well. And that was kind of alluding to that, and that sneak peek you showed with Stripe and what we're showing. So we definitely going to have some more stuff, to give you guys and to show that. We are thinking that probably time frame. I'm seeing would start to actually see this on people's page. We're about a couple weeks away. We still have the design part coming up. We're still ramping up when it comes to our sales team, and we just brought a manager to be able to help us out with that. We do want to launch some marketing alongside. And then, of course, we had the legality edge of it, because, the stuff that we've talked about with, the stuff being based in the British Virgin Islands, and also, too, being based out of Mountain View, California. We're still working out some of the legal aspects of that, too, as well. But expect this to see this up and running in a very few short weeks. I mean, this, start to be in the hands of customers. I mean, this is we're not talking months here. I mean, we're hoping to have a lot of these things, in consumers' hands and in our investors' hands by the February at the very latest.
Yeah, I mean, like anything we do, our goal is to extensively test through a beta, period, before bringing this to open market. And we want to also make sure that we, give the level of attention that this product deserves in terms of design, UX, UI. So ultimately, I think the goal is, without going too much in a firm date, is that by the end of this quarter, we're going to have a live product in the market. But until then, as we've been saying in the previous shows, we're looking for both a workforce that will help us, knock down doors and introduce this to as many projects as possible, and to build what we could call an order book. We want to have as many projects out there, lined up. And also we need some beta testers, some projects that are excited about giving the best experience possible to the people that want to support their projects. And this starts with Embr Checkout. So if you know of a project, there's going to be also great things coming out, like affiliate programs, ambassador programs, referral links are going to be created. So if you do want to be part of, spreading the word, there's going to be tools that are going to be given to you to make sure that you're rewarded for referring Embr, and specifically Embr Checkout.
No, absolutely. And speaking of the community, take some questions. Some of these I'm going to kind of paraphrase, because I think that, when it comes to exactly what you're asking, I think for us to be able to answer it properly, I'm going to be paraphrasing, not kind of name dropping here. But when it comes to potential customers being lined up in the future, there are people that are ready to go. We're building this database as we speak, but the system is going to ramp up very quickly. But you can see from the patchwork of a lot of these other a lot of these other projects on their website, to be able to try to address this issue with instead of kind of making it worse. No offense to any of these projects, because you're kind of breaking it up and segmenting it. There's no continuity. So they have, the demand is there. The demand is literally infinite. And, we're going to be able to hit a lot of these projects hard. We have a lot of people excited in the industry about this, and especially now after people being able to see this work, because this is no longer just some kind of concept that's kind of hard to picture, and be able to see it and visualize it. I think now that's going to be taking off. Also to that too as well.
No, I was just going to say, this is startup level. This is beautiful. This is tech. This is TechCrunch level. Don't be surprised that in the next couple of weeks we share an article that someone's talking about it on TechCrunch. This is proper startup products that we're building. This is where we come from when we sort of seize or see an opportunity, especially as big as this one. We just gun for it. And we've been gunning for it for the past, about a month and a half. And this is what we have to show. And we feel that this will get people talking.
It's
because
newsworthy.
It's going to be everywhere.
It's newsworthy. I mean, this is something that is really new, able to really separate itself from the herd with all this noise that's going on in the crypto space, especially when you have a journalist class that's, sort of comes to cryptocurrency. They see the money that's being made there, but they're really thirsty to see someone kind of break through all of that noise. And something like this is newsworthy, and you'll start to notice that in hopefully in the media space very shortly. Another question on Real Bacteria, I have some questions here about staking and how that's going to work. We don't want to really get too much into that. I do know, Jason, if you want to add to that with staking, we do have a version 2 that's being launched very shortly. Do you want to address anything about that at all whatsoever? Do you want to save it for another episode?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, we're putting together an environment which will be able to keep everyone in the loop about future iterations of our different product and features. Expect to see this appear probably in the next 2 weeks, kicking off the actual launch of this internally tomorrow. So yeah, this is going to be an environment where you'll be able to know the current versions, what we're working on, roadmap, in progress, in queued, postponed, all those sorts of things. So we can give you a window into what's happening behind the curtains. But I have an interesting question here, obviously from um, Jason Foster on YouTube,
I was
and
just
he's asking, yeah, he's asking if the buybacks are actually being burned. They're not being burned. They actually added back to the liquidity pool to further the stability of the token, and to yeah. So
raise them up.
just you've been mentioning, buybacks, how powerful, and again, these are all some, parts of, things that we've engineered and designed and thought through, about this Embr checkout. It's multifaceted. It encompasses a lot of our business goals, which is one, addressing, making sure that the token is not left apart. And Rob, you were mentioning some I don't remember what it was in regards to buyback, but ultimately there isn't a better business strategy than buying back.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I like when in Mr. Foster, just to elaborate on this too as well, is that our token's not deflationary. I mean, I know buybacks kind of for those that are in this space, in the actual stock world, finance world. This is something that's very common. The best antidote to be able to give that is for those that are American here. When the last administration, this is just a statement of fact, when they did a massive tax break for the corporations, and there was a lot of talk of what were they going to do, kind of pitching it as, are they going to, hire more workers, use it for research and development? No, they didn't. They use it for stock buyback programs. They took all that extra revenue they were receiving and they did a stock buyback. That's why once that was done, largest growth in the stock market since 2018 to today, just like they did the same thing with the money that was given bailouts during the pandemic, is they bought their stock back, and by doing reducing supply, they're adding to their own market cap. That's why we saw the largest trajectory, the most upward trajectory in 3 years from the stock market that we've seen in the last 20. I mean, the gains were massive. So use that as an example. This is the same tactic that we're doing, and this is not something that's we need to have multi-sig on. It always have to discuss how much is going to go be in there. This is going to be a set amount for buyback and for the give back. One makes a transaction, as you saw Jason just do with SafeMoon. It was that fee, that portion, those will be automatically divided, go exactly where they need to, automatically. And all of this will happen all under the hood without anyone really noticing. I'm sure someone who's looking at our chart will probably notice a lot of people this buy an Embr on a consistent basis, because that's part of our buyback.
Yeah, exactly. Maybe another question before we wrap it up, unless you wanted to dig into something else, Rob. But a lot of people have been asking, what are the actual, how is this fee fragmented? How is it segmented into these three things? So right now we're not going to sort of statuate on the exact percentage, because we're yet to finalize sort of the actual forecast of how much these percentage are actually going to mean, and how much do we need, what is realistic for one, and then we need to take those metrics and go and sit down again with our token economists and really make sure that everything, based on different potential extremely positive use cases, what does it mean for Embr, what does it mean for the token, what does it mean for the give back. So we're going to play around a little bit more with these percentage, but generally speaking, the angle that we're taking is roughly, it'll look like half of it will be, so 0.25 will be pure revenue for Embr, to fund operation growth and all those sorts of things. And the other, 50%, the other 0.25 will be shared between the buyback and the give back. Now, this is where we're trying to figure out what's the best sort of ratio. But fear not, it's going to be pretty good no matter what the percentage is.
Yeah,
fear not.
Minutia we're still working out. For those that all of the fees that we collect, half of that will go to revenue, 25% will go to the buyback, and 25%. Those may be some small changes there, but that's what we're shooting for. Regardless of where we fall, it'll benefit. Trust me, like I said, our the things that we want best for the company, we want to do best for the investors, and again, we want to do best for society as a whole. And that's why we're going for those three options. We want that as equally as possible. And for you guys to understand too, just to to re-emphasize that the 50% that's going to revenue for development pockets. This is money that's going to be used for, ramping up. I mean, these are some really ambitious goals that we want to achieve. We're going to need to bring on a lot of employees, a lot of staff, and people that have the experience and know-how to be able to deliver. And these things, of course, are the cost the company money.
Exactly. So yeah, super excited. As you can see, check out now live on 5, different chain, from Avalanche to Phantom to Matic to ETH to Binance. Easily, we can just input the contract address. We can change it like that. Start integrating it with any project that needs it, that wants it. And you have the pure revenue for the project to make sure that it's sustainable, that it has, that we're setting ourselves up for success. We have also obviously the buyback, the give back, plus everything that you've seen is not designed. So it's looking the worst that it could right now. This is just basically seeing Barney naked. It's like
it's just the skeleton. It's really what's going on underneath. The engineering that's happening underneath. But yeah, we'll be showing off, in the next couple very shortly of what that design will look like and how that'll emphasize what our vision is. So yeah, this is just the first step. And two, as well, like I said, we still have fiat with credit card purchases moving forward, with our development of our own wallet, with holding assets. Those things are all coming in the future, and also we didn't show that you were able to literally, exchange, for SafeMoon. We, that's obviously coming as well, but we showed the live demo of how that'll work. For those of you that weren't, that listened to us on our podcast format, like I said, I really implore you to please, best way to see us either on our twitch.tv/join Embr, or of course, but one of the best ways, of course, to see what we were doing and showing, really seeing is believing. .com/Embr channel. It's a great showing here, and always be able to see all of our product demos and stuff. Jason, do you want to add anything before I sign off out of here? Anything you want to else give to the community?
Sign off, Rob. Sign off.
Absolutely. Well, listen, guys, always catch us every Thursday live in the places I mentioned previously at 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. It is on a Thursday, of course. This has been episode 15. I think one of our best. I'm your host, Robb Vallozzi. I'm joined by my co-CEO, Jason Dominique. You guys have a wonderful weekend. Thank you, guys.
Peace.